Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Don't Blame Char podcast, your go-to spot for all things reality television, pop culture, and beyond. I'm your host, Char, and today we have a very special guest, Mena, who was just recently eliminated from the snake. We're going to deep dive into her experience on the show, talk strategy, drama, and what's next for her. Thank you so much, Mena, for joining us today on the podcast. How are you feeling in regards to having just been eliminated on the recently aired The Snake episode 2?
Uh, Sick, sad. Want to be back on it. I miss it. Hindsight's 2020, and I would have done so many things differently. But it was a really cool experience. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. And you've made the bold move starting with having to pick your own team in the game as the bounty hunter. What was your thought process behind selecting your teammates?
I wanted to get out of that box. That box was really hot. That was a hot box in the jungle. Um, uh, I was very eager to get started. I was so excited. As far as my selections, I picked people that I could relate to. Like I work in a form of law enforcement. I'm a bounty hunter. I'm a bail bondsman. So I work with lawyers a lot. I work with law enforcement a lot. Cody the cowboy, I'm from Oklahoma, so he just feels right, a little homesick. I love Cody. And Pastor Jacob. I'm a Christian, so it worked. That's my cast. I just picked people that I felt like I could really relate to. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And even to go further, because you did mention your background with law enforcement, as a bounty hunter, how did your professional skills sort of influence your gameplay and decision making through the competition?
As a bounty hunter, I am a master manipulator. This is what I do. I've done it for 20 years. A bondsman and a bounty hunter on a daily basis, it's just a language that we speak that comes naturally. I can't even explain it. You either got it or you don't, and in 20 years, I've done it every single day of my life from midnight to midnight the following day. Every little element of what I do is what drove me to want to be on this show, wanted me to compete. I wanted to do super, super well. I felt like I could have done quite a bit better. I just didn't know what to expect. I mean, you talk about being blindsided. That was crazy. This whole show was crazy. What a great experience, though. And I'm super, super, super thrilled I got to do it.
Yeah, and even in mentioning blindsides, we know that the competition gets really intense. Were there any moments when team tensions got kind of like boiled over and you had unexpected conflicts in any areas?
Um, you know, love Kaylee. Do I love her? She was on my team and I picked her for a reason. But she scared the boys. So a lot of the men were a little scared of her, which I thought was kind of funny. They were just poor Brett. He didn't know what to do, but he was cute as a bug. They were all very young. There was very few. Only Brian was really close to my age. So but the majority of the cast was very young. Yes, I became close with all of them to a certain extent, but being a bounty hunter with my background, I don't let you too close. That's just who I am.
Mm.
So, yep.
Understood. And reality shows often come with many surprises. Did you experience any betrayals that sort of caught you off guard in addition to what you just said? And how did that impact your game in the first two episodes?
Well, I didn't trust any of them. So
Well,
that's me in everyday job. So I just don't trust you. I really did not trust any of them. And I tried to form alliances, but at the same time, my background, not trusting, even what little alliance I could form with Amanda, Amanda was kind of my little alliance there for a split second, but she was really buddying up with Jacob and Derek. The whole table, if you listen to our conversation, which they don't air the whole thing, but the whole table, we talk about how we're going to basically help each other survive. And after that first elimination hearing, holy smokes, the six of us just standing there together, I knew. And then I'm not gonna lie, I had a little guilt because I picked all of them and I picked them all for a reason, for their strengths. With what I do with my background, I know these people are mentally, physically, and emotionally strong. That I do know. And that's why each one of them were selected. Felt a little guilt though, knowing that after we got to dinner that the other team's playing with snakes and we're enjoying a nice steak dinner. So it a lot of mixed emotions with this game. So would have done it very differently looking back, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to follow up, what exactly, maybe, I guess, in this sort of sense, would you do differently, like for team building or just in strategy for the snake if you were to continue on in the game?
I would have done a lot differently. Hindsight's 2020. I would have. Right off the bat, I can tell you I would have picked Cody. I should have picked Cody. I should have saved Cody. Cody's like a golden retriever, dude. He's loyal. And that's who I should have saved right off the bat. I was trying to get Amanda and form that alliance, but she was just too set on Derek and Jacob. You know what I mean? And Cody really wanted that alliance. He did. He wanted that. I should have really just gone in on that one, and I misread it. That I misread. I wanted I wanted to save Amanda and work with her more at the time, but looking back, no, no, I had that wrong. I really did. So, yep, I would have done that differently.
That's really, I feel like you were kind of in a more like risk averse position because you started out with such an important position in the first episode. So that's really like inquisitive to hear.
Well, I had a little guilt, because I got them all in that. You know what I mean? So there's a little guilt with this too. I mean, I am a human being. I'm a master manipulator and I manipulate people every day, but there is a little guilt that comes with that. These are very young kids. They're on this show as well, and I pulled all of them not knowing what we were in. I thought we were all going to get a challenge. I had no idea what to expect. And for that they can kind of forgive me for that because they didn't know either. None of us knew. I was just ready to get this party started. So
Absolutely. Now, in this episode, there was also a really weird eating and drinking challenge. How was that experience? Having to just consume and seeing your fellow just castmates have to also consume that stuff to become the steak.
oh, girl, it was bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. Their TV can't possibly, there's no way you guys could possibly, the smell alone of some of these things that we had to drink was unbelievable. And I'm a very smell person anyway. And so, you walk in a room, you kind of smell something funny. Well, hell, we walked out there and oh my God, it was unbelievable. And yes, the challenge was awful. And that would be seeing what some of the others had to do later. That was, that should have been my last challenge. That was my weakest link, having to consume something. I'm not a big eater or drinker anyway. And having to consume that, Jack targeted me right off the bat. He was already pissed. That last line, enjoy your steak, Mena. I mean, he had me targeted from
Got
that
you.
forward. That whole team did. So I put a target on my back. I was hoping that my teammates would save me, but that's kind of hard to save me if there's the last five standing with me. So it's almost impossible for them to save me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Was there anything sort of like the perseverance for all of you having to eat that stuff that really surprised you, or any player in that moment that perhaps surpassed your expectations for the challenge? You can also say yourself.
They all surprised me. Every player surprised me. It's those last ones standing who actually were able to consume it. McLean, holy smokes, really? She ate eyeballs, really? And so, yeah, and one thing that you guys don't see is the smell of this stuff. The eggs, when they brought down the eggs, and fed those to everyone. I was still so nauseous from my challenge. I actually have to turn around and I'm still getting sick from just the smell of their challenge. That's how bad it was. I mean, it was insane. I'd way rather have cockroaches crawl over me or play with a snake in a heartbeat. Something like that I can do. But drinking that, they got me. They did. They got me on that one. So yeah, that was bad. Yeah. And I was sick. I was very sick. Mhm.
There was also, we saw an art in the moment where there was kind of like production had to step in because they thought like someone may or may not have cheated. What was y'all's reaction to those of you who weren't a part of that
I
fiasco?
Well, I didn't know if they were going to air that part. I didn't know. I didn't know what they were going to air. But the whole time, I mean, honestly, the whole time, I'm thinking, oh my God, they have to do it again. There's no way. There's no way they could do it again. There's no way. And they did. The majority of the cast did. The ones that actually made it to that point, I guess they figured, hell, we've made it this far. So, yeah. And they brought him back out again. And I got sick again when they brought the eggs out the second time. I'm still getting sick over here because the smell was unbelievable. And it kind of made me sick watching them eat it too at the same, you know what I mean? It was just kind of all at once. I can't explain it. It was just it's just basically consuming big, rotten, smelly eggs. And I don't think anybody would enjoy that. You know what I mean? I'm just standing on the sidelines watching. I don't still to this day don't know how they did it, but they did it. So
What's one thing you wish fans knew about you beyond the competition and in your profession?
I'm very smart, crafty. I'm very crafty. I'm very good at what I do. There's a reason why I've done this for 20 years. There's a reason why my clients love me. I'm very good at taking any idea, their idea, and just playing with that idea. And I win you over that way. That's just what I do for a living. Win you over. And then I usually can twist that 9 times out of 10 to help me later. If I need to hunt you or find you or get you to do something that you don't want to do, I'm very good at that. I didn't get a chance to really do that. I didn't have any mind manipulation tasks on this game. Mine was a food challenge, and that's where they got me. Food challenges, you got me out. I would like something that were mentally challenging, more where I could actually work directly against some of these people. Jack won, and so he was able to pull me and work against me. I want to be on Jack's side, so I want a chance to do it more from a brain challenge standpoint. I want to outwit them. That's what I think that I could have done very easily. Actually, the whole cast. Actually, Brian would have been the most difficult one, being an ex-con, because he's been doing the exact same thing that I've been doing. He's manipulating law enforcement, and I'm on the other side. People like Brian are trying to manipulate me. So I think he would have been my biggest challenge at some point. I fell in love with him, but he would have been my biggest challenge. Yeah.
Absolutely. What's next for you after the snake? Any projects or goals that you're excited that you can tell us about?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I really would like to be on another reality show. I would let now that I know what to expect, I would have done it totally differently. Totally differently. I So yes, that is in the future. I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know what the next one will be, but watch out, traders. So
Okay.
I have my eye on a few things. I really believe if I had a little bit of an older cast, and now that I know what to expect, I think I can take them all out. I really do. I think I can take every single one of you out. Yep.
Absolutely. And if you could give one piece of advice to any of the remaining contestants, and if you're rooting for anyone that you want to tell us that we might not be aware of, what would it be?
That's a tough one. You know, they were all precious. They're all children. Advice, trust no one ever. There was a lot of backstabbing, a lot of flirting, a lot of just make believe. You know what I mean? And there has to be a point where some of them were so fake, they were almost impossible to believe or buy into. Other cast members. I felt like the majority of them actually really liked me because I was playing all of them at one point, and I was really doing my best to play all of them. And I think they really, if you listen to some of their podcasts or talk to them individually, I think they would tell you they really liked me because that's what I do. I try to get you to fall in love with me, and then I take you out, 'cause I got to get in first. But Jack wouldn't let me in. He just wouldn't let me in. And that one challenge got me. It did. So
Absolutely. And then our final question, if you had to sum up your entire experience on the snake in one word, what would it be?
fascinating. It was fascinating. Everything about it was fascinating. Fox was fascinating. The cast was fascinating. They did such a great job casting it. The location was fascinating. I was just fascinated by the entire thing. And I think that was part of just, I had to kind of pull down the in awe experience because you're just in awe. It's just so much to take in all at once. And I was just like a kid in a candy store. You know what I mean? I didn't know where to go first or what to do first. And I was all over the place. And so I think fascinating and fascination would just be the word that consumed me and that described my experience. Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have today, Mena, but we thank you so much for joining us today on the Don't Blame Char podcast. And we're going to be looking out for your next television appearance on whatever reality television you choose. So, absolutely, we're wishing you all the best on all your future endeavors.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.